On this episode of Sportsman's Paradise podcast, we have special guest Tom Brewbaker, who is a college fisherman, pro fisherman, and works for the MLF. So now, and also this episode is sponsored by Coors Light and Coors Pure and Vizzy Hard Seltzer.
Vizzy's amazing.
Yeah, Chase loves Vizzy.
I'm into it. I'm sold. And brought to you by Boo Crew Media.
Yes, and brought to you by Boo Crew Media. And now, welcome back to Sportsman's Paradise podcast with your two anchors, Kent McGuire and Chase Carpenter. How you doing, Chase?
I'm getting antsy. I know I've said this before, but it's been a while since I've been on the water.
I know. I feel bad for you at work. I at least got to go out last Friday and put a little hurt on him, but we'll get into that later. But we have a special guest today, Tom Brewbaker, out of Oklahoma.
You could say Oklahoma, a few different places. I'll claim Montgomery, Alabama, but
okay.
I live in Tennessee. I live in Nashville.
Nice. You find some nice smallmouth over there,
dude. You know it. Smallmouth.
Sorry, what's that lake in Nashville?
There's Percy Priest, there's Old Hickory, but those are huge recreational lakes now.
Yeah,
so
I've been on that one before.
Harder to fish, but there's also, maybe you're thinking about Dale Hollow. That's where the state record smallmouth, at one point, the world record smallmouth came out of.
Oh, wow. Shit. How big was it?
Oh, man. I knew you were going to ask me that the second I said that. I think it was about 9 pounds. I mean, it was something ridiculous. It was... For a smallmouth, it was massive. You know, I've got a computer right here. I can just look that up, but I should know that.
No, that's tough.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's awesome. I've never caught a smallmouth. I don't think Chase has either.
I heard they fight like bulls. Honestly, they're strong.
Oh man, it's funny you mentioned Percy Priest. That's where I caught like by far the biggest smallmouth I've ever caught in my life. It was like 6 pounds, and oh man, it blew my mind because up until that point I'd caught maybe like 5 or 6 smallmouth in my life from fishing on like one lake in North Alabama, but I hooked into that fish, and it changed my opinion on largemouth and smallmouth fishing. That's for sure. Smallmouth are incredible.
What's your opinion now?
Hey, if I could catch one, if you tell me that I can go out and catch, 20 pounds of largemouth or 20 pounds of smallmouth 5-fish limit, like I'm taking smallmouth because you're gonna have a heck of a time getting them in the boat.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah, that's fun. It sucks. I feel like we're like one of the only states that just does not have small
at least like
bass.
North Louisiana doesn't have them.
Yeah, like I don't think anywhere around here, which is
but you guys got those bull reds, man. So
yeah, we do.
That's a fair trade-off.
Yeah, I agree. That's what we mostly do. We mostly saltwater fish or brackish fish, I guess, for reds and trout. We actually had a sick bass day 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we were smoking them. We had caught like 20.
Yeah,
some good. You caught like a 2-pounder.
Yeah, so that was nice. But yeah, they don't get too big in the marsh down here.
Where do you guys fish down there? What lake was it?
It was in the marsh, the Biloxi Marsh.
Yeah, right off Horn.
Yeah.
All right, can't say I've ever been there. Actually, I've never been to the state of Louisiana. I've never been to New Orleans, and it's unbelievable, but I've got to get down there at some point. I looked up this record just for the sake of because you asked. It's 10 pounds 8 ounces. So I undersold it on Dale Hollow. It's still the record.
Oh wow,
God, that is a beast.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
That's insane. And it's sweet how it was in Nashville. I feel like a lot of those massive ones come out of
north.
Yeah, like up north. Like Michigan and all that area. But I wanted to get in a little background on you. So you fished at South Carolina, and I noticed that South Carolina were the national champs in 2015. Were you on that team?
I was on that team 2015 and 2016.
Oh, fuck. Let's go. Yeah, because I was looking up some of your history on there, and it just said for some reason, just had one tournament fished and one top 10. and I didn't see the national championship, but that's sweet.
Well, so let me clarify that, because I'm not going to take credit for that national championship, because the way that works is like, yeah, you have the University of South Carolina, but each school might have, 5+ teams, 2-person teams. And the team that won the first time around, that was Patrick Walters and Geddes Brandon. Patrick is currently leading Angler of the Year on the Bassmaster Elite Series. And then the year after that, we qualified for the national championship, but then just got our team just smoked us, like the 2-man team of Chris Blanchett and Hampton Anderson. He's a big red fishing guy. And yeah, they was back to back, but I was not part of either of those. And that one, I guess you looked at, did you just look up my tournament stats?
Yeah, and it, for some reason, it was like wasn't too many, but I mean,
yeah. So
something.
You introduced me as a pro angler. I think Justin may have oversold me a little bit. I'm not a pro level angler. Basically, when I got out of college, fished in college, I fished like the weekend series, and then I was like, this major league fishing thing seems pretty cool. So started working there, and those guys at the top level, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. I don't know how much major league fishing you guys have watched or bass fishing. But the guys at that level, to get to where they're at, I mean, it's, you think like, well, to some degree bass fishing has to be, luck. But you see at the top level, I mean, it's those guys, like, they know exactly what to throw in the cadence of, like, oh, they're not eating this, so I need to change up to this. And it's incredible. So not near that level. And yeah, I think you saw my career earnings of $395.
Yeah, that was awesome. More money than we've made. More money.
You're probably like, who is this guy?
No, but we were, and one other thing that pros are just on a different level of is the way they can read their electronics. I've noticed it's unbelievable how they can read the sonar and stuff so well and just understand their electronics. I'm like a moron with my electronics.
Well, you need to get you that Garmin forward-facing sonar, that Panoptics. Man, if you guys redfish a lot, I can't even imagine how it's going to change the game there. I mean, have you guys seen that, the Panoptics, where you can literally point the transducer of your trolling motor, and like whatever you're pointing it at, you can see grass lines, you can see the fish like right in front of you. It's gotten to the point now where like all of these lakes are just getting exposed, because like what you're talking about, like with like scanning and finding spots to fish, it's like people will go out there now and just like point their trolling motor and they'll see a fish and cast to it, and they'll be like, oh, here he comes, he's about to eat it. And they're just, it's crazy now. I mean, within the last year, it's nuts.
Yeah, it is. That Scott Martin's gotten me on that. Just watching his videos, it's like, Jesus, he has it. I mean, he just doesn't even cast, I feel like, if he doesn't see anything at some points. But he fished on the MLF for a while, huh? On the FLW.
Yeah, so Scott fished on the FLW tour. Had a lot of success there, and I think he's fishing the Elite Series. I think he qualified through the Opens last year. But his dad is obviously Roland Martin, bass fishing legend, and Scott, he made his career with FLW, which is now part of Major League Fishing. So
yeah, when did that happen? Was that recently, like past couple years, or?
Yes, I think it was made official in November of 2019.
That's recent. And does Major League Fishing own FLW, or did they merge and now are just one thing? Or like, can you still fish FLW, but it's just owned by Major League Fishing?
Yeah, so MLF bought FLW, and there's a rebrand. It's all under the MLF umbrella, but like if you look at people's paychecks, they come from, or at least for me, they come from MLFLW, which is the official company name, but MLF is the brand that it's all under. And the FLW circuits, which used to be the FLW Tour, and then you had, it used to be the Costa Series, now it's the Toyota Series. Then you had like the BFL division, which is like the weekend series, and then the college series. And it's actually the largest FLW was and is the largest tournament fishing organization in the world in terms of the number of people that actively fish their tournaments. So they were owned by Erwin Jacobs for a very, very long time. And he kind of brought them up to where they were at the point when we acquired them in 2019. But essentially, like, MLF was a TV show on the Outdoor Channel. Then they expanded to become the Bass Pro Tour, which was like a full-fledged, pro tour, not just, for the Outdoor Channel and, recorded shows. And so when they combined that platform that was on CBS and a bunch of other major networks, Discovery Channel, basically they had every piece to the puzzle after they acquired FLW, and then had that grassroots tournament trail. So that's where it is now. It's all MLF under one brand, rebranded, and now that those old FLW tournaments are now part of the Big Five series. And that's a nod to our 5 different levels of bass fishing. It's like minor league. It's like the minor leagues. BFL is a single A, then you got double A, triple A, which is the Toyota series, and then you have the top level, which is the Bass Pro Tour, and then also the pro circuit as well.
Okay, sweet.
With these 5 series, would you say the barriers of entry to become in the big leagues of bass fishing have lowered, making it easier for people to pursue this?
I guess it's made it easier for people to pursue, but more difficult to make it to the top.
Okay.
And I don't know how much you guys looked into, basically the Bass Pro Tour when it was founded, which is when I started working there before the FLW acquisition. That was started by Boyd Duckett and Gary Klein, who were Boyd is he's a business genius. He's owns lots of businesses, and he actually had a recording studio in Nashville for a while. And a lot of people call him kind of the godfather of bass fishing. And so he was at Bass, Gary was at Bass, and a lot of the anglers got together and they said, we've got this idea that Gary and Boyd have for an alternative way of bass fishing, which is every fish counts. You have a variable minimum, like we have 2 pounds on some lakes for what the minimum is, but all those fish count. And they basically said, hey, we're going to try to blow this out and take bass fishing to the next level entertainment wise, and try to get on, more major networks and have more action that goes on, and put, a bunch of, spending behind production, and just having a top tier, production. And then, so the people from the Elite Series that were fishing there kind of moved to the Bass Pro Tour when they were invited. So there was a split, and it caused all this drama. And it was like Hillary versus Donald Trump. People were like, oh, got to protect the 5 fish limit and Bassmaster, what we grew up fishing. And then you had the, MLF, which is, coming in here and trying to shake things up. So, it's funny because you never heard about it unless you followed bass fishing. But man, if you followed bass fishing, you had to pick a side. And now some of that's kind of, relaxed, and people are starting to just get back to bass fishing and realizing that, both of them together are great for the sport.
Reminds me of WWE versus Raw.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I like that. That's awesome. Just the wars. And then another thing, when you mentioned, which I was very curious about, how you I guess, did you start the monthly subscription tackle box every month?
Yeah, I did. So that was a project that started about a year ago. We were building out this during that acquisition period when we knew that, it was official. MLF was buying FLW, and then it was like, okay, now what? How do we take advantage of, the massive reach that they have in their platform and combine it with ours? And so I built out our membership program, with the VPs, obviously saying, hey, this is okay to do and spend this money. And then it ended up, we looked into the subscription box side of it, or I tried to partner actually with a couple of other subscription boxes. And in the early going, when we were actually talking about actually partnering with another company to actually provide that service to our members, but then that developed into, okay, we can do this ourselves. But let's do it a way that's different than that's ever been done before, as far as like what baits are in there, why they're in there, and the kind of stuff that comes in the box. So
That's awesome. Yeah, it's like what is it? Mystery tackle box. I guess
Yeah.
that's one of the competitors of it.
oh yeah, they're definitely number one, I'd say, in the market space for sure, because they've been around for a long time. And I mean, they've got so many subscribers. It's unbelievable. But I actually subscribed, I think, to their first box ever, like when I was in college. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
And then yeah, for college fishing. And then how do people sign up for that and buy it for you, for the people who are listening?
The Champions Club. Well, so you mentioned college fishing. If you want to get in, if you're somebody, who's in college, or there's probably a good chance that your school has a bass fishing team and you may not know it. But if you're somebody that, loves the outdoors, I mean, even if you don't necessarily like tournament bass fish or even bass fish very often, the opportunities available through college fishing programs are awesome. And obviously I'm close to the MLF college fishing program, which has been around forever. Obviously with FLW, that's what I fished. That's where those 2 national championships came from. So it's just if you're going to join a club in college, like, why not, join one that gets you bass fishing for, and a lot of it's paid for. Like, your tournament entry fees are free. A lot of schools fund those clubs. So if you want to sign up for that, obviously, just get in touch with the bass fishing team at your school, and chances are you'll need a Major League Fishing membership to compete in the tournaments that they're competing in that year. And so you can compete in weekend series, high school, college. But then you have the Champions Club, which is the tackle subscription, and that's actually a separate deal. And that's $29.99 a month. And you can go to mlfchampionsclub.com, see what that whole deal's about. I mean, essentially what we do, it's transparent, plain and simple. We cover the cost of shipping, and we only get premium baits. And those are baits that essentially we source by reaching out to our Bass Pro Tour anglers and the sponsors that sponsor those anglers. We work with them to secure their baits, so that the baits that are in this box, are benefiting our anglers, expanding their platforms, and it just ties it together well. But yeah, that's $29.99 a month. And then we also have like discount codes, like 50% off some reels, like Yeti coolers is in there every month. It's just crazy discounts on rods, reels, baits, tons of stuff. So it's a good deal. It's a good deal. And I've, purchased those baits myself, and I know what's in there every month. And it's the good stuff, man. It's, no crazy colors, only the juice, the stuff the pros are using. So
I like that. Yeah, I'm looking at it now and it looks awesome. I mean,
Tungsten weights.
Yeah, tungsten weights, some buzz baits, some chatter baits. You got the frogs, you got the square bills, saucy swimmer.
Saucy swimmer, man. It's got that sauce on it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then, yeah, wait, that's awesome. So y'all are working with Tackle Warehouse and Yeti. So y'all will do, if you're a member, you'll do awesome discounts for those type of deals.
Oh yeah, man. I can show you right here, because this is it's my office, but this is where we shoot some of the videos, kind of going over what's in every box. And actually we have pros come on and they talk about, they actually say, this is what you're getting this month and this is how I use it. But on the discount codes, like there's an example. And I don't know, is this like a video recording, or I guess obviously if people are just listening to it, they're not going to be able to see what I'm holding up. But there's like a 50% discount off of a Ducket fishing reel, TH Marine discount, Wiley X sunglasses discount, Yeti coolers. That was just last month, and they change every month. So it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Will you customize each month based on like the hot lures of that season? So winter, some slower moving baits, summer.
Yeah, in general, we try to do that as best as we can. Like obviously, depending on where you live, like And, that was one thing that was a little bit, apprehensive of at the beginning was, can we do a box for each region for like what that area, requires for that time of year? It just, we figured at the end of the day, if we're putting baits out there that are quality and you really are saving money just on the baits and getting a great deal, and they're, high quality baits that work in most places for that time of year. That's what 95% of them I'd say are.
Yeah, this is a perfect thing for people looking into getting into fishing. I mean, it's a high barrier. You don't know what to buy and stuff. Every month you'll come in with something new.
Oh man, it's the best thing to do if you're trying to get into fishing, because I mean you get the baits, but like every box has a card in it with like this QR code that you scan and it takes you to our website, or you can just go to our website and look at it too. But it's like right there in the box, and you're gonna get like pros breaking down those lures, how to use them, and that's it's out there for beginners all the way up to if you're somebody that fishes tournaments every weekend and you just want to learn something. So you're getting the information, you're getting the baits, it's all there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I was just watching this video and you're in it just explaining some of the baits and stuff in that bait box. So that's awesome. And then yeah, that's sweet. That was a great project. Congratulations on that. And then I'm guessing I saw y'all started around January of last year, and then COVID hit in March, and I felt like fishing exploded when COVID came around because there's nothing really else to do. Did sales spike up when people just started fishing a lot more? I feel like it was almost normally when you start a business that time would be a bad time, but I feel like you might have found a good time to do it.
Yeah, the fishing industry was definitely one of the few that, benefited from COVID. Obviously, COVID was terrible, but if you're in the fishing industry and you're in sales, it was a good time because I think for the most part, marinas, local boat dealers around here, they were out of inventory and had hit their year-end quota by like March, April, right when COVID was gearing up. Just trying to get these baits for this box has been a task because, you go to a Bass Pro even and the shelves are they're bare, man. Like it's a crazy when you go into a place like that, like Bass Pro, which has always got everything, and you see that.
Even your Bass Pro, you're by the tower, huh? Or not the tower, the pyramid. Are you near that one?
I'm not far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, every bass angler's got to take a trip to the Memphis Pyramid at least once a year. It's
the wonder of the world.
Yeah, it is.
It's the 10th.
It's crazy.
There's a few other.
Oh, yeah. Have you guys ever been?
No, been dying to go since I was a kid, though. It seems incredible. And isn't there a hotel in it?
Oh yeah, it was the old Memphis Grizzlies stadium, and then they just put a hotel in it, and they like open the whole space up, and it has like a river system that essentially runs through it, and like a bazillion different kind of fish. And if you go, take the world's largest freestanding elevator. I didn't know there was. Yeah, I didn't know what a freestanding elevator was until I went there. But take it to the top. There's an awesome restaurant bar up there, like where you can look out onto Memphis, and then a gigantic crappie tank just right at the top. So it's worth seeing. Take the trip up there for sure. Do your next podcast from there. There you go.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, shit. We'll do it on the elevator.
Yeah.
We'll
just set
go
up like, welcome to Sportsman's Paradise. But like, what are we?
Yeah. Come on, y'all gonna hop in the elevator? No worries.
We offer a prize. Whoever catches the biggest crappie in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Any means necessary.
What's my guy's name went fishing in there? Who is son of a bitch? It's what is his name? I forget his name every time. Who's pro one of the legends of fishing?
Bill Dance.
Not Bill Dance, not Roland Martin, but the third one. He's a good Johnson. Jimmy Johnson. Is it Jimmy Johnson?
Jimmy Houston?
Jimmy Houston.
The football player.
Yeah, Jimmy Houston.
Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, he went fishing in that Bass Pro.
That's awesome.
But one thing me and Chase wanted to start trying to do some like weekend tournaments, whether it be redfish or bass. And I was wondering, like, what's the pressure like the night before, and how ready do you have to get? Like, how many rods do you bring out when you were fishing college? And what tying up? Would you sharpen your hooks extra that night and things like that? Like what goes into it?
Well, it's intense, man. Like, especially in college, like if you know, because you're not. It's just like you're not getting paid. You're not winning a bunch of money at these events like you are at the pro level. And I'm not speaking, obviously from personal experience, winning a bunch of money at the pro level, but I guess there's definitely the night before and the morning of when you're trying to get everything ready and you're thinking through all the possibilities of what could happen the next day, and you're trying to roll through your different spots and have, everything you could possibly need on the front deck. I mean, there were times where like we were easily, had 15 rods a piece. The boater and co-angler, probably 30 rods on the boat total. And we probably wish we could have had more if we could fit them. Because that's like the time when you're just trying to figure out like, hey, what's the best way to catch these things? So I'd say if you watch the pros though, at the very highest level, they have a bunch of rods like on the deck, definitely during practice. And they have a bunch of different like varieties of lures during practice while they're trying to figure out the bite. But when it comes to tournament day, like you'll see, the main difference is they'll have like 3 different versions of the same exact setup. Like if they break one off, so they'll really dial it in on what's working. And then like, I think somebody asked Jacob Wheeler this exact question the other day, who just won actually our latest Bass Pro Tour event today. He said he keeps something like 50 to 60 rods, like basically rigged up and ready to go.
That's amazing. That was like KVD when he switched over to Lose. He just came out with like his rod series and he had like 49 different rods. It was like Jesus Christ, how you need that many rods? Like just get a medium light, medium heavy, and a heavy, and you'll be decent. Different actions, but I guess I'm wrong. He's a 5-time Bassmaster class.
Yeah. I mean, the combinations like KVD, like he could have the same crankbait on 4 or 5 different rods. And then maybe one has like 10-pound test. One has 12-pound test. He has like a 7.6 and a 7.4. One's on a glass rod and one's on like a composite rod. Just so like if he just, if he's fishing on like a, hard rock bottom or something, it might change completely how, which one of those he picks up. And then he'll have, every different version of that possible. And then you get to the next lure type and he's got the same thing. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's an art. And then another thing I've always wondered was when you tournament fish with a buddy, do you ever go out there like the first day and throw the same bait as like your partner, or do you always throw 2 different things until you find the bite that morning?
Yeah, I think in practice you're throwing 2 different things, just trying to locate the fish, because it really helps. That's a big advantage when you have 2 people in the boat and you're able to try 2 different things. Like, hey, are they, eating a reaction type bait today, or is it like a, you got to leave it still and it's a soft plastic jig or something like that. So yeah, I'd say for the most part in practice, you're definitely throwing 2 different things. And then if you really dial in the bite, you're probably throwing the same thing, and you're both on the front deck. I mean, in competition levels like the weekend series where you have boaters and co-anglers, they're not on the same team. But in college, you're on the same team and you guys can both get on the front deck and throw the exact same thing.
I can imagine you'll like notice your strengths and weaknesses, and you'll have like one guy's a top water guy, the other guy is maybe the finesse because he's just better at it.
Yeah, that definitely plays. You'll have there's always one person that's better with a spinning rod than the other person, and when you have to use it, it's like, that person catches all the fish. So and then sometimes you end up with somebody that's, you got the net guy, and then you have the guy that catches all the fish. So
okay, the greatest netter in college sports. Richmond would not be it.
Richmond, yeah, one of
the golden net award. That should be a real thing, honestly.
It should.
I mean, they should
make it happen.
They should have that, even though they don't net the MLF, right? That's the one.
Yeah, you can in college, and I'm pretty sure you can actually up through all the events except the Bass Pro Tour.
Okay. And they can't flip in the Bass Pro Tour
It's
either,
a
right?
penalty.
Like flip the fish into the boat.
Yeah.
No, they can't. It's a penalty. Well, I mean, they can. Like I've seen, if it's like a really big fish, you'll see people just drop that thing, on the bottom of the boat and be like 2-minute penalty, like whatever. It was a 10-minute.
This is it.
I'm shaking anyway. I
Yeah.
can't.
I need 2 minutes to
Yeah.
compose myself because I just shit myself.
Yeah. I need to wipe my
Camera
ass.
turn away. This is why I bring 5 different pairs of pants.
Oh.
If you want to see one of the craziest things that's ever happened on Major League Fishing, Google Keith Pochet. He's from Louisiana.
Oh,
O'Shea sounds like it.
Keith Pochet. Yeah, get him on your podcast, man. I'll give you his number.
Deal.
Yeah, look up. I think I'm trying to think of what the best thing to Google is. Probably if you just Google Keith Pochet, you'll see this video. But basically, he cast over a dock, like hooks into like an 8-pounder, and is like on the dock, has to jump in the water, and like it's nuts. I mean, that's what Major League Fishing is all about. So if you want one clip to tell you what Major League Fishing is about and why you should watch it, that's the one.
If you're listening to this, look it up.
Yes.
Come on, man.
I think I've seen this one.
play it real quick.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up. Yeah, I've seen this. Yeah. This is awesome. And so, like, what's that penalty when you get off of the boat?
I think that was like a 10-minute penalty, and he got a penalty for he got a fish landing violation too, because he threw the fish no, that one he didn't, because he didn't drop it on the deck. I think he just he got one for like getting out of the boat, and then he got another one because the official had to bring him his boat. So I think it was like, I don't know how long it was, so long, but it was worth it for him, I guess.
Yeah, it's a big old fish.
Yeah, he jumps in the water.
Hey, he didn't drop it on the deck though. He left.
I mean, the athleticism to jump from the bank. I don't know if you're there yet, where he jumps from the bank to his boat with an 8-pounder in his hand. It's like
hand. That's probably like the strongest grip ever. No one could open his hand holding onto the back, because he's jumping around, and that thing, he's probably like punctured its jaw.
Yeah, man. He was whipping that thing all around, but
he's real skinny back there. He's like shoved up in there.
Yeah, we got 2 guys from around where y'all are at that fish the Bass Pro Tour. Also, Cliff Crochet. So Cliff Crochet and Keith Pochet.
Yeah, those names. Those are great names. There's some K's.
Oh, yeah.
And then yeah, that's awesome. And then we have this guy Justin Martin, who's he's from Baton Rouge. He is not a pro yet, but one day keep an eye out for the name. Justin
Martin.
He's a great guy.
He's doing that Louisiana team.
Yeah, he just went and fished out in Kansas. Yeah, Kansas.
Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph. What did I say? Justin?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Joseph Martin. Yeah, Joseph Martin. That's so embarrassing.
Sorry.
Joseph Martin, he's awesome though. And he just went and fished out in Kansas for like to like enter some of the tournaments.
The state selects a few people where there's a designated driver and then fisher, and it's a few different teams. He's going up as one of the teams as a fisher.
Yeah. Well, he already went up there.
Oh yeah, they catch the smallmouth.
Yeah, he said the lake was terrible, and when they got there, like a polar freeze came through, and it was like 10 degrees, miserable, windy. I think the winning bag was like
2 pounds.
No, yeah, like 10 pounds or something.
Yeah.
Like it was,
it
was a terrible tournament.
Damn, that's a shame.
Yeah. But whatever. And then one question I always like to ask, and then after Chase has got a good one with a little song intro.
Yeah.
But what is your like most memorable fishing moment? Well, it doesn't have to be like best catch or best day, but when you think of like fishing, what's your top memory or top 3? You can't think of just one.
Top 3. I think I said one like right at the beginning of the podcast with that smallmouth, man. That was unbelievable. Just because that was like the first experience I had catching a mega smallmouth, and it was just like, this is something different right here. Like I thought it was like a gigantic striper, and then saw the big gold flash, and I was by myself. It was me and my dog Coda. We were out on the water just enjoying a day off, and man, it was unbelievable. And I mean, it's top 3. I guess Another one would be when I was fishing at South Carolina. We fished to an event on Lake Gunnersville, and the morning didn't start out great. It's funny you asked the question about like the night before the tournament and like morning preparation and what's going through your head. Like you have to get up super early to fish like most tournaments. Like you're getting up at like 4:30 or 5, and like my co-angler and I, like we were really bad about showing up to tournaments on time. We just couldn't get our shit together and like actually get to the ramp. So like we'd be boat number like 15 and then like squeeze in line and end up being like boat number 100 or something. And we just did not have it together at all. Like we were like, what the heck are we gonna throw? Like, you know, but it was funny because the day before that, like we had sucked in practice, and the last like hour of the tournament, my buddy flips a Buckeye mop jig onto like a random stump and catches like a 4.5 pounder. And like on Gunnersville, you're like 4.5 pounder, like that's, you know, that's nothing, but it's a solid fish anywhere. And so we're like, well, maybe that's the deal. Like we haven't caught anything. Like we literally had caught a bunch of like just less than a pound fish, like 9 keepers. And then he caught that one right at the end. So we're like, well, I guess tomorrow we're just going to go out and do this. But then like we go out that morning, we go to a part of the lake that like nobody's fishing, and you know, nobody's talking about like this is the spot everybody's going to be in, or this is the area anybody's going to be in. We had it all to ourselves, and we're like, all right, this is probably going to suck because there's nobody else in here, which is not a good indicator. And like within the first like 20 minutes, I was throwing a whopper plopper. You guys know what a whopper plopper?
Yeah, I love that bait.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I think I got a whopper plopper up here.
Yeah, I honestly haven't had too much success with it. I throw it at golf courses where it's not really pressured, and they do well.
Yeah.
It was this exact one. It was a 90.
I have that one.
Yeah, I have
Yeah, man. And like since this day, I have sucked with this bait. But like for whatever reason, like we had like a back-to-back 6-pounders eat it like right off the bat. And then we didn't catch much throughout the day, but then we had an hour left. We went back to this spot. We had like 10 pounds at that point, and we just started flipping this Buckeye mop jig around all this timber, and we upgraded to like 25 pounds in the last hour. Ended up finishing 4th in the tournament. We were within a couple pounds of winning. Damn. And it was just a crazy day of just like thinking, you know, just swing for the fences. We don't know what's going on. And it's starting out crazy and then being like, all right, well, you know, we're still not doing that great. I think we had a 6 and a 5. So we must have had like 12, 13 pounds actually before we went back in that creek, but too much information there. I know I'm getting long winded, but that was probably number 2. Number 3 was when I was like probably 10 years old, and I used to either like walk or take our side-by-side, like basically onto these other people's property that like my parents, you know, would totally not be cool with me doing. But we had a creek that was like 2 miles away, and I would get to that creek so I could, you know, throw whatever I'd gotten in like my Walmart, you know, starter tackle box to catch like whatever was in there. And I remember like I cast over a tree branch that was like 15 feet off the ground, and then it landed in the water like right in the spot that I wanted to cast. So I was like, I'm just going to let it sit there. And then it's like a bluegill eats it, and I reel the bluegill into a tree. And I'm like, all right, well, that was crazy. I've never like caught a fish like this before. I'm going to climb up this tree and like, you know, I'm like 10. Of course I had like a knife on me or something, like break the branch off, like put the fish, still have the fish on there, big old bluegill, at least to me, I thought it was big. Like put it in a cooler and took it back to my house. I remember just being like that was awesome. Yeah. So since then I've been like, man, like, just for like no reason. It doesn't make any sense, but just if there's a body of water nearby, like trying to fish for whatever's in it. I think it started probably with that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then
the
heartbreak moment.
All right.
I feel like there could be a lot competing in college and bass tournaments. There could be a lot of heartbreak moments out there. Mm-hmm. But do you have one in mind that really just doesn't let you sleep at night sometimes?
Not in college that really sticks out. I mean, there's a lot of events where like we just sucked and it was like we just drove all this way and sucked and now we have to drive back.
Never lost a fish like that would have won you the tournament,
Or
right at the
just
boat?
like not even in a tournament, but it jumped out the
Yeah.
water. It was big 8-pounder. Just
Yeah, there's been a few of those, unfortunately, and they all like I'll randomly like think about one from like 6 years ago. Sometimes like right before I'm going to sleep, and I'm just like, damn it! Like if I just landed that fish. The worst one I think that sticks out to me, I was fishing a BFL. Actually, no, it was a Bassmaster Open as a co-angler, and it was on Lewis Smith Lake. And I'd figured out this little deal where if I threw a shaky head with like a Ultra Vibe speed crawl. I mean, actually, we're on topic with the. You guys are asking good questions because I just happen to have the Ultra Vibe speed crawl right here.
Yeah.
And I was throwing a spinning rod, and it was like a medium light action rod, and I was fishing with Josh Strackner. He was the boater. He's fishing on the Elite Series now. And like first thing in the morning, and this is a lake that has a lot of spotted bass, and like the largemouth are few and far between. They don't get that big. And so people go there to fish for spots. I hook into like a 5-pound, 4.5, 5-pound largemouth, like right off the bat. Like just Josh didn't cast at this boat dock, so I just cast at it, casting behind him, and get the fish all the way up to the boat. And I don't know like what went through my head at that moment. Like if I just come from a tournament where I thought like this is how you're supposed to land fish, but like I tried to like basically not boat flip it, but like pull it towards me so that I could like get to it. And like basically when I pulled it, it like popped the lure right out of its mouth. And that fish would have had me in the I think I would have been leading the event after that first day. And it would have got me to the next round. And yeah, so like I remember being like, well, you really screwed that up, man. Like, I mean, it was like that was your chance. Like you're a co-angler, you're fishing behind a pro, and you have a chance to do that. So it's all right, man. It's all right. Obviously it's close to my heart. Like you guys are making me emotional about it now, but
I apologize for bringing up.
yeah, man. Yeah, it sucked.
devastating.
Sucked,
Oh.
man.
It does suck.
That's fishing.
That's fishing. It's not
Oh, man.
it's fishing. Do you get a lot of beds where you fish? Like, can you find bass on beds at the lakes you fish?
Oh yeah, the water's clear enough in a Kentucky Lake. I live on Kentucky Lake, and we have a place in Nashville actually where I spend most of my time in Nashville. But up on Kentucky Lake, that you can. I was actually doing that the other day from the bank. You can see fish on a bed, and
That's all.
Yeah, we don't really get bed, or I guess they do bed, but you can't really see them where we fish.
Yeah, you guys got that like stained, like brownish looking water. Yeah,
it's a bitch. I've always wanted to see like those videos when the people are in Florida and there's just like 8 to 10 pounders on beds, and you just keep tossing them like a little white craw, and then they just smack it. It's like that seems so fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. If you can just see them and cast right to them, and you can see how big the fish is to some degree, and that it's like, oh man, this is like $1,000 or 10 grand or 100 grand on the line if I land this fish, depending on what level you're at. It's nerve wracking. And then you do one thing wrong, like you hit the trolling motor wrong, or you throw your bait, to like you hit something or make any kind of noise, like you're done. Like just leave that fish alone. You're not going to catch it. So
yeah, that's crazy. That seems fun though.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, like sight fishing bass seems cool because sight fishing reds is one of the coolest things to me ever. It's awesome when it's just crystal clear water and you can just see them swimming. And you just toss a little gold spoon at them and then boom, you're on.
Yeah.
So did redfish bed like that? I mean, is it like a similar deal or?
Oh, they go out to the Gulf, right?
Yeah. To spawn and stuff. So they'll leave. I mean, they're always in the marsh, but they'll like big ones will leave. But no, but they all like the duck ponds down here with a bunch of like vegetation. You'll see like we call it snot grass where it'll clean all the water up. So you can find some ponds like when we caught all those bass about a week ago, the water was like crystal clear, like 4 feet deep. You could see grass and
just a little too
wow.
in front of us.
So that's when you find that, it's awesome. That's when you know there's fish in there. And we got like 5 reds and like 20 bass.
No
but it was a little windy and my trolling motor battery died on us. But otherwise we probably would have gone around. You can see them. I mean, you just see them swimming and then you just throw right in front of them. It's awesome.
Were you guys throwing the same lures for the redfish and the bass?
Yeah, spoon was
Yeah.
hot and a corky.
Yeah, and then I was throwing a corky. I don't know if that's big in the bass world, but it's like a pretty much twitch bait. It's like you work it like a top water, but it's kind of middle to upper column.
Yeah, okay. I think I know the corky, man. It's probably a good bass lure too.
Yeah, it's pretty much like it's a Mirrodine, but it's just soft, like squishy. They're pretty sick.
Yeah, they're fun.
They've become like my favorite lure in the past year.
And then the spoon, the bass are just hitting it hard. But in the marsh, the bass will hit anything a redfish will hit.
Yeah, it's crazy. And we've gotten so many bass lately in our estuary, which is pretty sweet. We'll call them green trout down here.
Yeah, I've caught 1 redfish in my life, and it was in a tournament on the St. Johns River. And it was the first fish I hooked into, and I thought it was like a 7-8 pounder, and it was a big old redfish. But dude, they had that like tannic stained water down there. So like it was a redfish, but it was like this crazy orange color. And
yes, they almost turn gold in a way. Like they are when you catch them in the clean water, or like, it's funny how the different color water you catch them in, they look so much different. Like sometimes they'll be not white, but like a very light color.
In Florida, on the beach.
Silver almost. Yeah.
And then if you catch them in clean water, I mean, they're just like vibrant orange. They're like this box. I mean, they're crazy. During October, they call them pumpkins.
Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Pumpkins. Yeah, I was pumped about it because I was like, man, it's a redfish. And my buddy was on the front of the boat like, dude, what are you doing, man? We can't like put that thing away. We're in the tournament. I'm like, bro, I mean, it's still cool. And I thought it was an 8-pound bass. So like, let me have my moment.
I enjoyed this.
You son of a bitch.
Okay. I'm staying positive.
Yeah.
We're keeping this for later.
Yeah, we're eating this one.
Yeah, throw it in the cooler.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, when you were to South Carolina, I don't know if it's close to the coast, but did you ever go to the coast and try to catch any reds or trout, or go like offshore out there?
I tried like one time to fish from like a pier by like it's down by Folly Beach in South Carolina. And I was like, yeah, man, I can go out and just throw whatever, people are saying they're eating out on these rocks or whatever by this pier, and didn't catch anything. It sucked. There were like little tiny fiddler crabs, I guess I was throwing, and that you'd see like all over the bank. And yeah, it sucked. That was the one time I tried to fish at South Carolina, because it was all bass fishing for the most part. And then when we'd go to like Charleston or something, it was just kind of what you did for the weekend, and didn't get to fish a lot. But
yeah,
honestly, that's something I want to get better at and wish I had more access to is redfish, man, because it seems like it's very similar to bass fishing, and you kind of have to figure them out sort of the same way. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think bass fishing is harder than red fishing. Though, like I feel like bass fishing so technical. If you find a hungry redfish, it doesn't really matter what you throw at it. It will eat it.
Yeah.
But they're fun. I like to think trout in a way are kind of like bass as well, because for me, they're a lot harder to find. Some people go out and they'll find them in 1 second, but for me, I think trout are much harder to find. But when you get on them, it's sweet because you can catch 50 of them in an hour, and it's just every cast, bang, 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 bang.
And getting a 10-pound trout is like getting 10-pound bass. They're hard to find, but then you can get a 30-inch redfish and get 5 of them that day.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You guys ever fish at night for them?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun going to dock lights.
Yeah. It's, we got into it big time this year.
Should go soon.
I don't know if they're still there, but we, one night we went out and the wind was supposed to be calm, and I just have a little 16-foot flatboat. It's just an old 40 two-stroke Yamaha on the back. That's like a 1991.
Yeah.
And we went out and the way, like, it was like pitch black, like 9 p.m. and the waves were so big. We were like, it was terrifying.
Yeah,
We were
was.
just getting our ass kicked and couldn't see
But
shit.
we were determined.
Yeah, but we made it and we caught some fish. So it was pretty
Fun.
It was worth it.
That's awesome. I guess it's kind of a tradition that you bring a 12 pack, and I guess for us, it was like if we're fishing a night tournament, you bring a 12 pack just in case you just don't catch any fish at all. Got to catch a buzz, man. So got to catch something.
100%.
So hopefully you guys hadn't consumed that 12 pack before you ran into those waves, because
No, we were lucky.
did not.
Consumed it once
That
we
was
got there.
the first thing we did was run into the waves.
Yeah, right when we left the launch, we were like, "Oh God, this is gonna be a shit." But I guess that's all. I don't want to keep you too late. I know we had to push it back, but you have any last words? Anything you want to plug or ask us?
Any last words? There you go.
As far as like who to plug, man, I mean, obviously busy Coors, obviously for making the show happen, to you guys, for having me on. I'll give you guys a good promo there for what's the show called again?
Sportsman's Paradise Podcast.
I should have known that, man. I was like, is it Paradise Podcast, Sportsman's Paradise Podcast? So obviously, thanks for having me on. Anytime you guys want to have me back on, I'd be more than happy to talk anything fishing. So, obviously the Champions Club too. If you guys, you guys should both subscribe to that actually. So,
Yeah,
sounds like you need it.
yeah,
Well, like the crankbaits and any route traps work great in the marsh.
yeah.
We love throwing those on rocks.
Do you guys do any sort of like giveaways or stuff like that on your podcast?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes.
All right, I want to send you a Champions Club box, and you can do a quick plug for it and give it away.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll send you guys a couple too. You can hang on to them. So,
all right, you beast.
You should go. You got to come down and come red fishing with us.
Yeah, definitely.
Dude, I need to. I don't know if Justin told you this, but I actually met him in St. Lucia, and I was like, who are we gonna meet here? Like, surely nobody that is just like me and is like an SEC sports guy and loves fishing outdoors. So I mean, I need to. We're trying to get to St. Lucia. Maybe we all make that trip happen, or I'll come down there to where are you guys? New Orleans? Not New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans.
Nolans.
Nolans, baby.
Yeah, man. You guys just said that naturally. Wow, I probably screwed that up so bad, but no, man, I really appreciate you guys having me on here. It's been fun.
Yeah, we really appreciate you coming on and staying up late for us. And definitely want to have you back on, and we'll do our studying with the MLF tour, and then we can break down some of the top anglers and stuff maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome, man. It sounds good. Check out the event we just had today. It was on Lake Travis. Had a lot of our had all the Bass Pro Tour guys down there, and it was pretty crazy at the end. It came down to like 8, I think it was 2 ounces or something like that. Yes, somebody caught a fish with like 3 minutes left, and it made it super close, and it was crazy. So watch the highlights on that, and I think you'll like it.
Definitely will do. Well, we really appreciate it, Tom, and hope you have a good one. We'll stay in touch.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Got it.
There we go. And that was Tom Brewbaker from living in Nashville, working with the MLF. What a cool guy.
Yeah, he's the man. He did a lot of good things. His LinkedIn, it's like manager of operations, manager of player relations, manager of a lot of managers.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, it was like, damn, this guy. And then when Justin told me about him at first, I thought he was like an older guy when he sent all of his stuff in. Like, I thought he was probably like high 50s, low 60s, like becoming the manager of all this shit. Turns out he's just a badass, couple years older than us.
Yeah.
So
it's sweet. Also, Kent, I got some info from people in the barge world. They're not opening the spillway this year.
Woo!
I am amped for Pontchartrain. It's been like 5 years in a row they've been opening that beat. Night fishing could be freaking awesome. We could hopefully get some big ones out under the lights because we're only catching dinks and then the occasional 15, which like, okay.
Yeah,
They
this
could be
is
here.
massive.
Let's go. The baby, let's go.
Yeah, they've been fucking smashing them. Hopefully could that mean the trout stay longer?
I would have, yeah, because they're not going to get pushed out by all the water.
Fuck yeah. Dude, let's go. And it's been on fire.
Yeah.
I went out.
Maybe flounders will stay.
I went out Friday, and I don't think I told you this, but I went out Friday morning, and our buddy was going out also, and he was like, should we go to, he was thinking about going to Delacroix. And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to Hopedale. I was like, I would meet up with y'all, but I got to leave really early because I had to be back for a lunch at 12. So then he was like, oh, well, I gotta come back early. Also, I'll meet you out at Hopedale. We have a tournament in something week. So I was like, all right, sweet. I'll meet you out there. So I met him out there, drove him to one of my spots because it was hot the last time. Mm-hmm. And then we pull up. My like first 3 or 4 casts, I catch trout, all little dinks. I was like, let's go pull up to that side of it because the tide was coming in so hard. And we went there, and I caught like 10 or something. They only got one, and I felt so bad because they were like, "Where are they?" And I was like, "Just throw right here and let it drift." And I was like, "Look, I got another one."
Were they not like working it the same way? They're probably moving it too fast.
Yeah, I think they weren't letting it get to the bottom, but I was like, "Oh, damn it!" I was like, "Y'all got."
If I would like, I'm swimming over to your fucking boat and I'm jumping and sitting next to you. Like, what are you doing?
It was funny. So he parked like right in the middle of the bayou where it was exiting. And he's got a fiberglass boat and I got the aluminum boat. So I just rammed that bitch into the shore. And, but he's got the fucking iPilot and this bitch just has spot lock. It's so sick. So sick. So he was just spot locked right there. And then I caught a couple out there and I was like, let me try back here. So I just throw it like 5 feet behind my boat, let it drift right next to my motor, and they were all just underneath my motor. Yeah. I was like, holy shit, boom, boom. Spot. It was sweet.
Minn Kota, get your shit together. It's been 2 months since February, longer, and it's y'all's fault. It's not Pier 21 wearing this shirt because they're doing everything. They're being so nice about it. They're trying to get it in. They're like calling y'all weekly. Just give me my motor.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah, I want to go out in Lake P, do some dirty trestle fishing.
Seriously.
Calling sick.
Yeah, that'll be sick.
Because I don't want to go on a weekend. It's a zoo.
It is a zoo out there. Yeah, we got to do that. People have been crushing them out there. Oh, and then at the boat launch, I met this old guy. And so I'm cleaning the fish. I'm pretty pumped up. I got like 15 fish, came in, like left the spot at like 10:15. I was like, fucking right. I got out there kind of late, got on him right away. Found a couple new spots where I caught him, and I was like, let's go. Get in the hang of this trout game.
Yeah.
And then pull up the guys, like these 2 old guys, like, damn, where'd you catch all those fish? You got the best box I've seen out here. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I went down there, told them where I was, and then they're like, I wish we could have got some fish like that. And they start pulling out their fish. It's like 18 inches, 17, 18, 19, 21, 20. And then they pull out, I mean, they got way more fish than me. And then he pulls out a fucking 25-inch monster trout. This thing was so fat. It was like, if you look at our Instagram, that picture does not do it justice. It was huge.
So he was just messing with you.
He was, totally messing with me.
Yeah, and like, watch, let's go. They just chill for an hour picking on poor fisherman who didn't catch 20-inch trout.
It was awesome. And they caught him at the Long Rocks. The Long Rocks have been on fire, people are saying.
It's probably a zoo now. People are talking about it.
It is a zoo now.
It is a zoo.
But
yeah,
I feel like there's still fish.
We got that report from that guy saying it was. Yeah, I mean, people are still catching them there.
Yeah, and I've never fished it.
I'd fish it if I'm catching it. It'd be fun.
Yeah, we gotta go try it one day.
Once to get that boat back from Bama on the trolling motor.
Yeah. Oh, is it in Bama right now?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. I'm gonna try to go out Friday, but my goddamn trim and tilt's broken, and the water was shallow. And then I like ran through fucking all this grass.
Yeah.
And then it got windy at the end. So I was like I was like reaching under, like in the water, trying to pull the grass out. Then the wind pushed me into more grass. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking die out here.
Yeah.
All by myself, dehydrated. Like, I'm done for. Luckily made it and then pulled the bitch up manually. But I might still just go out there with it not working.
Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it.
Catch some fish.
But if it's a pretty day, if this rain might have killed it, but I think I'm still gonna go. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's today's episode, and go get yourself a champion box and tight lines.
Tight lines.
Peace.